We're going to generate a cut ticket in order to spread with the XLS 125 using the CAD interface, which will allow us to have the spreader automatically set the correct distance, and we'll have splices in there, and we can also use the label ID. So from AccuMark Explorer, I'm just going to right-click on the marker to generate cut data. And in my cut data, as long as I specify apply, let's call it, say, 60, and the color, call it blue, we're automatically going to generate a cut ticket. And when I process this, I've already done it. If I process it, I go File, Print Preview, I've got a barcode, end up printing that out, end up with this, which I'm going to scan in over at the spreader. Alright, here we are at the XLS 125 spreader. It's also configured with label ID, which is the printer out there. And we have our user interface right here. What I'm going to do is take my cut ticket, the barcode, and we're going to come here and scan it, which is automatically going to call up the correct file. And we've got information here with the number of plies that we're requesting, the color of the spread. Our splices are listed down here. So I'll go ahead and say load cut ticket. Then I'm going to come up to some of these other tabs. Go to my job setting. And I have the ability to set the end, which is the right end of the spread, or the left end of the spread. Once I start moving down the table, this will go black. And I'll be able to set a start position on the left side of the table. Before I get started with that, printed out a marker, and then I made it a little bit darker on some of these lines here so that we can see. Here's our splice marks in red, and then our pieces in black. So this particular marker has 3 splices, and we're going to use these indications here to show you how we use the Splice Mark feature when spreading with the XLS 125 using CutTicket. So we're going to pretend we came into a flaw. All right, so I've marked the fabric with an X to indicate a flaw. There's our splice mark. So I'm going to come over to the machine here, hit splice flaw, and it's going to tell me to select the desired splice, use the throttle or press the auto button to move to the selected cut point. Right now I have a splice mark selected right there, which is that one. So all I have to do is press the auto button right here, and it's going to come back and move to this the beginning of this mark here, and it tells us to cut the material. Going to hit the cutoff button here. And then I'm going to automatically feed out, cut this off. Take this out of here. Now it's telling me to press the auto button again. And this time it's going to move to the beginning of this splice mark right here. So I'll do this again. So now we've marked the flaw area. Get in a little closer. And hit the splice flaw mark. That's the auto button. Back further. Cut off. Okay, now we're going to assume our spread's complete, and we're going to use label ID, which is that labeler right there, and we're going to put down labels on this spread. So I've used the controls to set an origin on the corner of my spread. Start. can see we've got two labels here. One is where we're actually going to set the origin right on that 0. And then our barcode, which we're going to use when it goes up to the cutter, we'll just scan that barcode and that'll open the correct file. And then we have our individual labels for each of the pieces here. And hopefully we can see that through the marker. You can see where the labels were placed, right where each piece is. Got a label underneath there. So again, the idea is to get away from the paper marker and just use labels.